Hi Virgo, welcome to your general tarot tune-in. If you're new here, welcome to my channel. This is Tarot with Netta. This reading is for Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus, and North Node in the sign of Virgo. As always, take what resonates, leave what doesn't. If the reading resonates with you, leave a like, comment, subscribe. If it doesn't, just check out your other placements. And yeah, let's dive right in, Virgo, and see what's supporting you at this time. Cross watchers are welcome. So if you're dealing with a Virgo and want to see what their intentions are towards you, yeah, you're also welcome here. So Virgo, grounding your reading, Lady Venus. So I got one card from the Keepers of the Light Oracle deck by Kyle Gray. Downloads and understanding. Truth is being revealed. Deep insights are coming from heaven and the astral realm. You could potentially be dealing with a Taurus or a Libra, two signs ruled by Venus, or you could have those placements in your chart as well. So downloads and understanding. Truth is being revealed. Yeah, also talking about beauty, luxury, being in your feminine energy. So my dear Virgo, let's see what's going on. Let's look at your challenge position, what's coming towards you, and your advice. So we'll go into the tarot and get a little bit nosy, my dear Virgo babies. Yeah, it's been a minute. But yeah, I'm curious to see. I've got Virgo and Venus actually. So yeah. Okay, in your challenge position, wow, you've got the 10 of Cups, the 10 of Swords, and the 2 of Swords. Wow. 2 10s here are talking about major cycles coming to an end. You could have had some type of like fulfilling relationship, fulfilling family life, emotionally fulfilling in one way or another, connecting with others, like getting your cups filled essentially, not really having to stress in that department of like unconditional love. But being in your challenge position here with the 10 of Swords, this is like taking a very ugly turn. It's almost going into the opposing energy of betrayal, backstabbing. Some truth could have come to light where there was some type of, yeah, like something coming to the surface. Some truth might have been exposed. This is like, you know, almost like family life. Yeah, family life that looks like perfect on the outside, you know, maybe to others. They're like, you know, I would have never known you went through that trauma, like looking on the, as an outsider, into your life, into your family, maybe even your childhood. You know, if a friend is kind of like standing on the outside thinking like, wow, I thought you always had a great relationship with your parents or your siblings. You know, maybe you had like family get-togethers, like an open door policy, you know, everybody was invited, everybody was welcome to like holiday dinners, but there is some type of like, and I hate to say it, but like some type of like abuse going on behind closed doors, some narcissism, gaslighting, things that you might not have even been aware of until you became an adult and started doing some type of self-work, some type of psychoanalysis. Yeah, and it could have potentially led you to be kind of like closed off and reserved as an adult as well, in terms of your relationships and dealing with others. Or maybe you're learning about yourself, that you have inherited some type of like pattern of being or interacting that, you know, maybe people have called you out on it, and it's almost like you don't want to believe it, you don't want to see it, but that's also a part of healing. Doing that shadow work, like, you know, looking in the mirror and seeing like, okay, you know, attracting maybe other like types of relationships where you're projecting your own traumas onto your partner, but then also it could be that you are, and you know, and I don't want to like point fingers or place blame, but if you're here watching a tarot video, I think you're pretty in tuned and pretty able to kind of handle the truth, you know, the good, the bad, and the ugly. So it could be something, you know, where a truth was brought to light, where somebody presented some information to you about maybe how you've acted in their eyes, and it was a little bit unpleasant, and it's led you to be even more closed off or unwilling to go forward in that relationship. Yeah, so there's like again, some type of oscillation, some type of like back and forth between, you know, looking nice on the outside. It's like very looks appealing to the others, like that white picket fence, having that smile and that charisma, but like behind closed doors, there's like other things going on that are not apparent to the public eye or to the general, you know, acquaintances and friendships that you might have or your family might have entertained. And you could potentially be carrying those like traits into your current family life or your relationships, and you just like don't want to see it. It's almost like you want to, but it's like the truth is so like, oh, like unappealing to you. Like it kind of feels like ugly or dirty, but and that's not like to say that's a reflection of who you are. It's just that perhaps like the trauma, the wound is so deep that it's like you almost don't even know where to start. You're just looking at it as like a one big mess, you know. In Virgo, like you possibly might have thought like you had your shit under control. Like that's a very mercurial trait, you know. You pride yourself in your ability to organize your thought, your mind, your thoughts, your mind, like your dealings, your interactions, your business, your relationships. But that could be like, you know, that point of entry where you start looking deeper and think like, was it just something you've been telling yourself? Interesting. Yeah. And you know, as being a Virgo Venus, and Venus is in the detriment in Virgo, unfortunately. But yeah, it could be like almost like being too harsh in relationships and really struggling to find that like unconditional love. So it's something, you know, in this lifetime perhaps that needs to be worked on. Yeah, so let's go into what's coming towards you. So a lot of fiery energy, a lot of passion, a lot of joy. You've got the Six of Wands, the Knight of Wands, and the Three of Cups. I see a lot of like celebration and fun, and just could be dealing with the Sagittarius with the Knight of Wands here. You could be like invited to some type of wedding or bachelor party, bachelorette party, just like letting loose, and it's gonna be a nice break. You know, if you're starting to do some like really intense shadow work where you're like, okay, I'll take off the blindfold, I'll try to open my heart and be a little bit receptive to, yeah, like essentially just opening up. This is going to be a nice break. It's going to be like a reminder for you of like, yeah, opening up is not that hard when you're like going out and having fun like that. It might be the easiest reminder for you of like what unconditional looks like, where you're able to just like let loose. You actually might have Sagittarius in your chart, and that is like, you know, the life of the party. So it could even be that type of energy for you where you're learning how to balance that like perfectionism versus like the party animal. You could be like, you know, 27 years old, even like coming upon your Saturn return, where you might be like, you know, looking at what's important for you as well. Like, is that party life still important? It might be fun, but maybe there's some deep work that needs to be done. You can't just look at the world as like in black and white and like changing the mask. You know, that oscillation between yeah, the Ten of Cups and the Ten of Swords is that perfect example of like repressing like what's going on underneath the surface. Okay, let's go into your advice. Yeah, you've got some powerful energy here. More wands, 10 of wands, Queen of wands, and the, what is this? the Lovers. So I always see the Lovers as a choice card. It is the only major arcana that came up for you. So you could be, yeah, you could be being called to be making like a big decision. And yeah, with more fire here, the 10 of Wands, like leaving a situation, closing out another cycle. Yeah, you've got 3 10s here. You're coming to some type of ending, like a big ending, maturing. Yeah, this Saturn return, you know, depending on where you're at in your life, but closing out some like beliefs that you might have had that are no longer serving you, coming into some type of creative flow with the closing out of that cycle, but deciding like, what do you want to do with that creative flow? Is it something that you want to pursue in your life? In regards to, you know, creating something for others, or just using it as like a form of therapy into exploring your own subconscious. That might be the outlet for you of like how you do that shadow work and that self-work. Art is a great tool for sublimation, you know, where you might not want to like go and talk to a therapist. It might be like too icky for you or too hard. Yeah, it's like you almost just want to like splash paint on a canvas and just see where it lands and go from there. As long as you're kind of balancing out your nervous system in a way that you're not like being hyper vigilant or overloading it with that like perfectionism or that black and white thinking. Yeah, that Lovers card is going to be very powerful. It's that choice, you know, are you going to do what you've always done, or are you going to take a new path? And, you know, based on this reading, I would say you're kind of like leveling up, you're growing up, you're ready to do that shadow work. And it doesn't have to be as scary and like traumatizing as it might feel in the beginning. Usually starting is the hardest part, but I feel like you'll be excited on this journey. Like you're ready, you know, you're not just gonna like repress it or dump it on someone else or place blame. Like you're owning your shit literally or figuratively, but you're going to like figure out like how to sublimate that energy where it doesn't remain that like heavy burden ongoing. Let's close out your reading with one card from the Yogic Path Oracle deck. Yeah, downloads and understanding. So it can be beautiful, like this process of transformation. Tapas. Okay, let me read the description. Wow, Tapas, where are you? Now that I need you. Okay, Tapas. This is a niyama of self-discipline. You've gotten where you are because of your discipline, Tapas, and this will continue to take you where you need to go. While discipline sounds like a heavy word, it is really just committing to becoming the highest version of yourself. The next evolvement will require refinement of your inner strength. You are undergoing a deep transformation, stepping outside of your comfort zone, gaining strength, moving through fear. Now is the time to ask yourself the important questions. What practices have I committed to? What practices do I still need to commit to? Is my daily routine serving me? How can I improve it? Where do I need to set boundaries in my life to further align with my truth? Am I showing up for myself the way I would for a friend or a child? Yeah, so some food for thought there. Okay, my lovely Virgo. So that's what I have for you today. I hope it resonated. Let me know in the comments, and I'll see you on the next one. Bye.